Hello. Have you ever fallen out of a window, an airplane, or possibly just out of bed? Then you have experienced free fall. Motion with no acceleration other than that provided by gravity or aerodynamic drag of the object. So basically, it's falling without any other forces except gravity acting upon you. So if you fell out of a plane and fired off a jetpack, you'd no longer be in free fall. You'd be safe. In this experiment, I will drop a ping pong ball and a much heavier hacky sack at the same time to study the effects of free fall and gravity on the both of them. The formula to figure out how far an object has fallen during free fall is x equals 1/2 acceleration times time squared, or in other words, 1/2 of the acceleration due to gravity multiplied by the time to the second power. So the acceleration due to gravity is always the same. It's negative 9.8 meters per second. This means for every 1 second it's traveling 9.8 meters per second faster down. The negative in this case means down. If it was positive, that would mean up. So if you know how long it was in the air, you can find out how far it fell, and vice versa, using basic algebra skills. Now, since I can go back at the film later and find out how long one of these objects was falling, I can find out how far up I was holding them. The next formula is for finding the velocity of a falling object, which is the acceleration multiplied by the time. This makes a lot of sense. Think about it. If the acceleration is negative 9.8 meters per second, then you just times it by how many seconds it's been falling and you get its velocity at that point in time. So, let's see how fast the object was falling when it hit the ground. We'll be using these as an example again. Oh! Have you ever jumped up in the air and just found that some sort of force is pulling you back down to Earth? Well, that is the force of gravity. But what is gravity? 23?
Batman's secret identity?
In fact, it's none of these. Gravity is the force of attraction between two objects. The formula for figuring out the force of gravity between two objects is the following. You multiply the two masses together, then you multiply that by the gravitational constant. That's 6.67 times 10 to the negative 11th power. That's a really small number, but it's important in making an accurate calculation. But you take all of this divided by how far apart the objects are squared. You just square how far apart the objects are. R stands for that distance, not radius. Sorry, geometry students. So keep these physics ideas and formulas in mind next time you're in free fall or just being pushed around by the force of gravity. See you next time. Ah!